Welcome to Forensic Friday.
where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. Hello.
You said that so creepily.
This is my new fixation is saying it in a creepy way because of the look on your face. As if we haven't worked together all day long.
I know. Please do not do a creepy voice every time.
I know. I'm not that creepy though. There are some people who can pull off creepy. I'm not really one of them.
You're not wrong.
You put that voice on a different human, different situation.
I'm going to stop rummaging through my bag so Garrett doesn't.
Garrett's going to be like, okay, so what are we doing? At least it's Monday. So, we're getting a head start. That's good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He puts up with a lot. I put my blush on his lipstick.
I have done that as well. We like Merit. We're on the Merit train. You got the cute bag. We should see if they would sponsor us. Hey, Merit makeup for people with zero time, and it's cute.
Oh, yes, I do it.
I love it.
I do it in like 2 minutes.
Same. That's a game changer. Usually I do it when I get to the office. I don't do that and drive anymore.
Oh, I cannot do that. I could never do that and drive. I would 1000% crash.
Yeah, it's not a good plan. I did it as a teenager more. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Sorry, Tina.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's more of a sorry, Tina, than an F-bomb.
Oh, yeah, no, she would not be pleased.
No.
Hello, forensic friends. What do we need to catch them up on? Shipped a ton of books. Metric ton. Very fun. We have to get our presentation done for the conference.
Gosh.
I know. It's good, though. I mean, we're still ahead of where we normally are, even though it's due this week. We're still...
Oh, we are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're just a couple of ADHDers just like holding it down, I did see someone when I was speaking the other day at that diversion conference. Mm-hmm. I saw a gal who heard us over the summer, and she said, I was trying to figure out which one was you guys's, and they have figured it out. Probation said that today, too. They were like, is it the high risk one? I'm like, yes, it is. It's the high risk one.
Do they not put our names on it anymore?
Not yet. So they put it in the initial one, but then they put the names on it when they do the full app when you show up. And so
they're
people are like,
can we change it? They're like, we don't want you to pick your presentations based on just the people.
Oh, well, we are pretty fun. We're a good time. It always comes together. It just takes a lot of work. So have you heard of body doubling with ADHD?
No.
It's us in a nutshell. If you look this up, it's literally why we like working together. People with ADHD tend to work better when they're in proximity with another person. And I think this is true for me and you. If you read it, it's like...
How does that relate to me signing Garrett up?
Okay, so hear me out. So
I'm like, I'm on this route and you just went
Here's
this
how
way.
I got there. Let me explain.
Okay.
How I got there is I was thinking about us doing expense reports.
Oh.
Which we literally did in parallel. And you're like, does Garrett have the receipt or do I? And we're sitting there doing our expense reports together. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if we weren't pulling them off the copier together and sorting them out, I don't know what would have happened. There's like a co-working that tends to happen. Also, I don't know if Garrett found it, so we'll have to figure that out.
Well,
but it's body doubling. That's what it is.
Interesting.
I know. It's interesting. It helps a little bit.
You and I usually don't have an option of when we get these done because...
Yes. Also true.
They're given to us and then neither one of us are in office Friday. So we literally have to do them on Mondays.
We're always multitasking a little bit these days, but it's okay.
We're figuring it out.
Good. We're figuring it out. So we have what for the people this week, Nat?
Are you dating a narcissist?
Spoiler alert, probably not, but maybe yes. Not as much as you think, but probably sometimes.
Yes.
Would you agree?
We'll get into like full-blown diagnostics versus, we all have a little bit of selfishness in us, and that can sometimes show up as people might blow it up into narcissism.
Yes. Well, and I've told this on the pod before, but there was a book that came out and it had to have been called Covert Narc or Covert Narcissist, something like that. I haven't read it, but it was all the rage for a while. And so all the women I was seeing would come in and be like, God, my husband's a narc. And I'm like,
Not what
he's
that means.
like
That's
giving
not.
intel to the police. Like, what are we talking about? No, a narcissist. I'm like, that's not a narc in my world, but it changed. And I heard this every day for like 6 months. This book must have been quite the book, but everyone was like, it's a narcissist. And then finally, I lost it one day in a session, and I was like, he just disagrees with you.
Mm.
And she was like, I don't think that's it. And I was like,
She fire you?
I've been listening a lot. No, she didn't fire me. I mean, I had to soften it though. That was one of those like throat punches, and then you're like, and it's
I
okay.
understand why you feel the way
You're
you feel.
still a good person, and we're gonna figure it out. Like you have to like bring it down because I just got tired of hearing it.
Mhm.
You know? Okay, so today, you guys, a client gave Nat a monster, which was really kind,
Oh,
actually.
it was not a monster.
Oh, no, no, it was a
Red Bull.
Red Bull. Sorry, my bad. I don't know any of them. I don't drink them normally.
Yeah, no.
But I
I
had
mean, I
a sip of
don't
Nat's
either,
and
but
it
I
was
do
good.
like, here's the thing. So this client told me about this flavor, and I'm not usually a energy drink person, but I like them, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
drink them a lot because they aren't good for you
Mm-mm.
at all. But I do like my occasional Red Bull or Alani or whatever.
We had a Ziggy's one that was good too at that conference. Do you remember
Yeah, I
that?
was shaking. I was so
No, no,
high.
me too. That one sent me.
That one was crazy.
Even my ADHD ass, even I was still like,
Well,
whoa.
you don't need it because you take things for your Adderall or for your ADHD.
You take things for your Adderall.
You take
I
Adderall for your
don't
Adderall.
take anything for my Adderall, but I do take things for ADHD.
Where were you going with this Red Bull example?
Where did I start?
No,
Oh,
was it the other client that was like, that's gonna give you cancer?
yes. That's what it was. That's what it was.
I was
And now
like,
they were
okay.
like, we had Lunchables and stuff. Like, we're fine. I don't even, yeah, we're good. Don't worry. I had one sip of it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Mhm.
So, the question that we're going to start off with is, have you ever felt like no matter what you do, it's just never enough? Like you're constantly walking on eggshells, second guessing yourself, and somehow always ending up as the one who's wrong, even when deep down, maybe you know you're not, or you're the one who brought up the conflict.
Mm, switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gaslighting.
Mm-hmm. So before we jump in, let's be clear. This episode is just for building awareness and self-reflection. We are not here to diagnose anyone, including your partner or you.
Right. Purely for educational and
Purpose.
entertainment purposes, allegedly.
We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Southeast Counseling Center. Southeast Counseling Center is a 501c3 nonprofit mental health provider right here in Parker, Colorado, conveniently located just off major highways. We serve the whole family, from play therapy for kids to couples and family therapy, trauma treatment, psychological testing, and specialized groups. Access matters. That's why Southeast Counseling Center accepts Medicaid, TriWest, and victim compensation, and also offers a community subsidy program to help people who fall in the gap between Medicaid and traditional insurance coverage. And because we're a nonprofit, every dollar donated by the community goes directly towards providing treatment services for people who need help. Prefer to meet at home? Telehealth is available statewide so anyone in Colorado can access our services. To get started, call 720-842-5553 or fill out our secure web inquiry form at secounseling.org. Southeast Counseling Center, care that is accessible, compassionate, and rooted in the community.
You're welcome.
Yes. We are here to give you tools to assess your relationships honestly, recognize patterns that may be harming you, and help you figure out your next steps.
Beautiful.
So, grab your Red Bull.
Wait, I can grab your Monster. I mean your Red Bull. Or your Lunchable.
Or your
Whatever is within
Lunchable.
reach.
This is why millennials love charcuterie boards. It's because we ate Lunchables growing up.
Okay, that was another thing. That was another story you told today. I'm not gonna share it, but
What?
it was in the same situation. The I don't want to say it because it relates to a client, but someone has a way of dealing with hard things that involves a charcuterie board.
What? Oh, yeah, no, we can't talk about that.
I'm like, we have charcuterie on the brain, apparently.
I love charcuterie boards.
Me too. It's because we ate Lunchables.
Okay. So, first things first, what does it actually mean to be a narcissist? Because I think this word gets thrown around, as you and I both know, all the time.
All the time.
And it's important that we actually understand what we're really talking about.
Yes. And some of y'all have not sat with a clinical narcissist and it shows. Like if you've done work with a clinical narcissist, it is a different thing than people think it is.
It's wild.
It's wild and sad. Underneath it, like, okay, some of it's hilarious. It can be funny in some ways. And I get why it's the butt of a joke or it's a thing in the movies. Like we're watching the what's the name of the movie? Outcome, and it's Keanu Reeves playing an actor who gets exposed for being a terrible human at the end of his career, which is insane because Keanu Reeves is the nicest guy ever. So that's part of why it's funny. But it is an actual depiction of narcissism. And so I'm watching it. I'm like, yes, there are things about this that are funny, but how it works in relationships and in real life it's sad too. Like this is a real disorder. This isn't just like bad behavior.
Well, exactly. So, like clinically speaking, right, narcissist personality disorder, also known as NPD, is a mental health condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration. They do lack empathy for others. It's not that they can't have empathy, but they lack empathy. And oftentimes have very troubled relationships. Right? We're not going to read the DSM.
No.
But that's essentially NPD in a nutshell.
Yes.
Would you add anything to that?
I would say it is very normal developmentally for kids and teenagers to be baby narcissists. It's actually indicative of kind of like health, like safety to a degree. If a kid is way overly conscious of other people, sometimes that's a sign that they've actually had a rough go. So you don't want to look at kids and be like, you're a narcissist, or teenagers. A lot of people are like, my teenager's a narcissist. I'm like, that they're a teenager. That's what they're supposed to do. Their world is small. It's all about them and their friends. That's developmentally normal. But to really diagnose NPD, you need a pervasive pattern for years beginning in early adulthood. So I wouldn't diagnose it even in somebody in their mid-20s. Like you really need to see this behavior crystallized over a long period of time. So I would add that too.
Yes, yeah. And no, I won't say this is for everyone, but oftentimes, well, this part of it might be for pretty much everyone who could have this diagnosis. I remember when I was in grad school, we have a professor who would admit that he's been diagnosed with narcissism.
I know what you're talking about.
And which is like, it makes total sense, but also I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, but he would say, right, it's layers upon layers upon layers of self-protection. So many layers that it's almost hard for them to even see the pain that they've experienced.
Yes.
Right. But oftentimes, especially like NPD, BPD, histrionic, right? Those tend to stem from, not always, but tend to stem from trauma.
Yes.
right? And so NPD, it's layers upon layers of self-protection and trying to create a different narrative than potentially what was being told to you as a child into adulthood, right? And so it's all of these protections to try to inflate yourself to feel better, but then it's
Yeah.
taken too far. And I remember when he said that, and I was like, that's so interesting. And then getting into the field,
Mm.
that's what you see. That's all every human that I would have either said has a lot of traits or could who literally be diagnosed. I sit with them and then we dive into their childhood and I'm like, you make so much more sense to me.
Yes. Yes, I see it that way from trauma. I also see it sometimes from being given a really large stage from a young age can sometimes also create it. And that's sad too, in a way, because the affirmation is typically around performance and importance and all of that. And so that can become a weird loop too,
Yep.
where they're trying to like stay on the horse by never getting off the horse and they're just like mowing
Yeah.
people over. That's
Well,
that's what that looks like.
when it's based on like you said,
Yes.
performance, and that usually stems from, right, being put on that stage and the high expectations coming from somewhere,
Yes.
you
Well,
know,
and it's interesting because I think the cluster, right, of diagnoses that sit kind of in the same arena, there's a
Mhm.
lot of overlap. So you mentioned, histrionic, borderline, antisocial, and narcissism, they all sit together. And it's not that they're all the same, or if you have one, you have all four, but there's just overlap. And it's because it's your personality. It's like deep in there,
Yeah.
how you function is being driven by some of these things. And so you can get combinations of them,
Yeah.
and that can be challenging. So, like, we will sometimes see narcissism and antisocial show up together, or histrionic and narcissistic, we've seen a couple times, which has been very challenging clinically,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know? And then also you have relationships sometimes that are combinations.
Oh my gosh.
That
Yes.
can be interesting. So wouldn't you say, Nat, like, first question, how important is it for listeners to think through, am I the drama, before they go trying to diagnose the person they're dating? Thoughts?
Well, that's the important part,
Get
right?
it. I know this is your
That,
wheelhouse, man.
that's the important part. So if you're pointing the finger at everyone else, like, "Oh, well, I'm just dating, okay, I have this example. I'm not going to say names. They're not fun.
Mhm.
But I have this example, and there's a lot with this example, but I'm not going to share all of it. But I know this person where they were dating someone and the person they were dating, I'm not going to say was like clinically a narcissist, okay, but for sure had traits, like 100% had
Mm,
many traits. And they, by time they were breaking up with the person, they were like, you're a narcissist and
mm.
you're not blah, 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 right? All these things. And I'm like, buddy, we should probably look in the mirror
Oh, yeah.
and assess ourselves. It doesn't mean that the other person didn't have their stuff, but when we're pointing the finger so much, we've
Mm.
got to look at ourselves and ask ourselves what's going on with me too, right? And that's the other thing. You already mentioned this, but not everyone has NPD. You can have traits of narcissism, okay? It's kind of like it's on a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So you can have more or less.
Mhm.
Sometimes, I've worked with people where they definitely have narcissistic traits, but they also have deep levels of grief and empathy. But then their
Have
defense,
varying levels of insight into
yes,
even their narcissism.
yes,
Yeah.
but their defenses show up as, traits of narcissism. And so it's just really interesting.
Do you have prevalence? Like how the percentage in the population?
Jump in with that.
Okay, so it's 0.5% to 6% of the population, with males making up to 50 to 75% of those diagnosed. First of all, that's a wild range.
Hmm.
I would argue it's on the higher end and going up.
Yeah.
The more in men, I find interesting. I think we are used to screening for those traits in men, and
Hmm.
in women, we're more likely to do a histrionic or a borderline.
Mhm.
And we have a lot more men who are borderline, and we have men coming in saying they're borderline for the first time ever clinically in the last couple of years. That didn't used to be a thing.
Yeah, and it's tracking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I think sometimes men and women are potentially misdiagnosed because of the stereotypes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You
we
know?
have like a picture in our head. It's like a file cabinet,
Mhm.
you know?
Here's what makes narcissists so tricky to spot, especially at the beginning. We talked about this with the psychopath one. I almost said psychopathy, but are you
Mm-hmm.
dating a psychopath? So it's similar to that because they can be super charming, right? So they can
Oh,
make you
yeah.
feel like the most special person in the world. The relationship feels so good, almost too good, too intense, too fast, too perfect,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is by design, my friends. It's called love bombing, which we did talk about in our previous episode. So you got to make sure that you're like tracking with this.
Got to keep up with us.
You do. So we're going to talk about all that in a minute. But first, let's talk about you and your relationship. Not you personally.
I'm like, yeah, my husband's the least narcissistic ever. Unless you know something I don't know, which
Kara's going to
what
be
is he
like,
thinking about me?
WTF. Maybe you're more on that than he is.
Well, I think everybody is more narcissistic than my husband. My husband's not narcissistic at all.
Truth.
Bless him.
Truth.
You're welcome, G. He paid me to say that. He did not.
No, he didn't.
He did not.
He
He's
paid you
probably
every day anyway, dude.
he's thanklessly editing this right now at 2 a.m. Love you, babe.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
So I want you to really sit with these questions that we're going to go over. You don't have to answer them out loud, especially if you're with your partner.
We'll be right back.
If you work with court-ordered clients, you already know the system can be overwhelming. Documentation, coordination, compliance tracking, billing, on top of actually doing the therapy. That's why we want to tell you about Reliatrax, a one-stop platform built specifically for therapists working in the court-ordered space and voluntary treatment. Reliatrax helps you stay connected with probation and referral sources so everyone's on the same page and your clients get the best care possible without the endless emails, calls, and paperwork. And here's the exciting part. Reliatrax now offers Aura, their new AI assistant. Aura helps streamline documentation, keeps you organized, and supports your workflow so you can spend less time clicking boxes and more time doing clinical work. Reliatrax also supports insurance billing, including Medicaid, making it easier to serve both court-ordered and voluntary clients all in one system. No juggling platforms and no workarounds. And the other amazing thing is you have an actual team of people who can support you, not some automated system. If you're looking for a smarter, more efficient way to manage compliance, communication, and care, Reliatrax was built for this. Check out Reliatrax and see how it can support you, your clients, and the systems you work in without burning you out. You can go to www.reliatrax.com to get started.
Okay.
Can you just see a couple? They're driving cross country and she's like, oh my God, yes.
Or he's like, that's you.
Yeah, no, please don't do that. Keep it on the inside until you know more.
Just let them land and notice how your body and your heart responds. Okay.
That's adorable.
I know. But yeah, don't say the thing in front of the person because this is this is like a really good way to get into a fight. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
First, do you feel like you're constantly seeking their approval, even for small everyday decisions? Like you can't just make a choice without wondering how they're going to react.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm already exhausted. You're on like number one. I'm like, oh God, that's terrible.
I know. Second, after arguments, do you often feel confused, guilty, or like you're going crazy? Even
Yeah.
when in the back of your mind, you know you didn't maybe do anything wrong, or you're the one who brought up the conflict and then it gets flipped to you.
Oh, yeah.
So that leads to my third one. Do you find yourself apologizing just to keep the peace? Not because you genuinely believe you're wrong, but because you just feel like it's easier. Here's the thing, guys. Even going through those 3 questions, that doesn't necessarily fully mean your partner's a narcissist. It could also mean that they're defensive. It could also mean that maybe you guys have bad ways of communicating. So, but it's just things to be aware of, okay? And to think through.
I'm
And
also out. I will tell you. I'm listening and
real.
I'm like,
For real.
maybe if they're willing to work on it, but this just sounds hard.
I
Because
know.
it is hard.
It is hard. It's very hard. We see this a lot in some of the clientele we work with.
This is the biggest diagnosis I think we see outside of anxiety, depression, like the low-hanging fruit. You and I will run aground more narcissists than anybody else in clinical practice because of the work that we do.
Narcissist or borderline.
Yeah. We just run into a little bit more personality dysfunction because literally it shows up in your relationships and you're getting in trouble legally for your relationships. But I think the thing with what you're saying around those traits, you and I've become kind of narcissism Jedi masters to a degree, but we're not in a relationship with them. So if somebody comes in and has a conversation with Nat and I, and we start getting that feeling like, wait a minute, that is not what we were talking about. Or we brought up a concern with you, and now I'm hearing how I'm a bad therapist. Like when there's a flipperoo, it's switcheroo and a flip. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. A switcher flipperoo. When that happens, when you're not in a romantic relationship with somebody, it is so much easier to look at that person and say, wait a minute, what we're not going to do is flip this whole conversation on its head. We're going to have a normal conversation. I came here to talk to you. If you want to bring a complaint to me, give it 24 to 48 hours. We're going to finish this first, right? It's easy to have that discipline in a it's not easy. I should not say it's easy. It is more possible to do that in a professional relationship than when it's your partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
So now let's talk about their behavior. Does your partner make everything about themselves? Even in your most vulnerable moments, you come to them upset about something, and somehow within minutes, the conversation has shifted to their feelings, their problems, and their day. I know. When you try to set a boundary, do they react with anger, guilt tripping, or shutting down? Like your needs are somehow an inconvenience or an attack? Can you remember the last time they genuinely took accountability for something? Not half apology, like, I'm sorry you feel that way, but a real honest, I was wrong and I'm sorry. And finally, let's look at the relationship dynamics as a whole. Does the relationship feel one-sided? Like you are constantly pouring into them, but the cup never gets filled back up? Has your partner subtly or not so subtly pulled you away from your friends or family? Made comments that made you feel like those people don't really have your best interest at heart? Do you feel deeply loved and valued one day and completely invisible or worthless the next? And one last one. Did the relationship feel almost too perfect in the beginning? Like things moved really fast, feelings were really intense, and it felt like a fairy tale almost immediately. Y'all, that is like the biggest red flag.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh my gosh. When people are like, we're so in love and we're together literally every day, all day, and we're moving in. I'm like, red flag. Immediately.
I have my red flag pen. Where'd I put it?
I don't know.
Red flag.
If you found yourself nodding along to several of these questions, my friends, your red flag pen, oh my gosh. Keep listening, because what I'm about to share next might bring some of the things into focus for you. What are you thinking, Janine, with these questions, dynamics, behaviors?
I'm thinking 2 things. I'm thinking, first of all, it's lonely. I'm just struck by the loneliness of being in a relationship with somebody who can't connect in a real way, or looks like they can and then they pull it, and what that feels like. And then I'm also kind of struck by how even when I was in school in the early 2000s, it was thought that they just were untreatable, and we know that that's actually not true. So I feel a little hope at the same time. I think I'm feeling that tug of like, wait, like we can make progress, but also knowing if you're in a relationship like this, like if you're nodding or this is landing with you, my heart breaks because I just know that can erode the other person's sense of self really quickly.
Mhm.
And I've seen that happen to people, and that is heartbreaking to me.
Yeah.
And the crazy making, like when you have a group of therapists who have to do a sanity check with each other after they meet with someone, that is typically a good sign that we're having personality disordered behavior.
Mm.
Imagine that at home. Like that just breaks my heart, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes me want to keep like working on it with people, but
Yeah.
it's a good reminder of being on the receiving end, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally get that. So we're going to go through some of the signs. Okay. I want to walk through these really carefully because some of them are very obvious and some of them are very subtle, so subtle that you might not even realize they've been happening to you. Okay. So I want to be mindful with this. So, sign number one, love bombing. We hear about this all the time.
Mm,
All the time. This is where almost every relationship with a narcissist begins. They come in fast and intense, like constant texting, over the top compliments, talking about
mm,
the future within a few weeks. Oh my goodness.
mm,
Making you feel like you are their entire world. And again, like it can feel really amazing because who doesn't want to feel adored?
mm.
I'm weird, but I don't. And I don't know.
You you don't.
I don't.
I
I
know
just
this
want to
about you.
feel I want to feel cared about,
Yes.
but I don't need to feel cared for or
No,
adored.
like stresses you out. That's your yeah.
But here's the truth, love bombing isn't romantic, okay? It's a tactic. Oops.
Mm,
It's designed to get you attached quickly so that later when things shift, you're already so emotionally invested that it's hard to walk away.
yeah, it's how they protect themselves in advance.
Hmm. 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 Sign number two, the lack of empathy that we talked about. This one can be hard to see at first because someone with NPD, they're often very good at performing empathy when they need to. But over time, you start to notice when you're genuinely hurting, they don't really get it, or they
Mm,
minimize your pain, or they make it about themselves. What do you think is
yeah.
an example of them making something you're going through or your pain about themselves? Can you think of an example?
I think a great female example is when a group of friends is hanging out and somebody's sharing something really tender and somebody grabs it and like runs with it. Like, this just brings up for me, like, blah, blah, blah. And then we have completely shifted gears. Like,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
see that, I think, in female relationships with men or in romantic relationships. One thing I've seen is if a man is trying to be helpful and fix, but they're narcissistic. Okay, so like I would say a lot of men, not all, because there's exceptions to every rule, but
Mhm.
a lot of men genuinely come at a problem from a lens of like, I want to fix. And that can be frustrating to women in their lives. If a man comes in and it's like, I want to fix it. I'm the number one fixer. You're an idiot if you don't listen to me because I'm so smart. Also, here's 10 other times I fixed it this way. Like it's the over the top claiming of this thing that you were just trying to share. That's where I see that sometimes,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Or they share, like if you went through something, they share about their thing that they went through.
Yeah.
That's harder.
Hmm. They can be competitive. This shows up sometimes in really successful couples where they look like a power couple, but then it starts to get kind of competitive. That
Mhm.
can sometimes be narcissism rearing its ugly head, and that can show up in either person. what's happening is insecurity that they're not going to be able to keep up or maintain it, you know,
Yeah.
but that can start to show up.
Yeah. So true emotional attunement, it doesn't really exist,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number 3, gaslighting. And this term gets thrown around a lot, okay? So like hear me clearly of what this is. Gaslighting is when someone causes you to question your own reality. Okay, so the term literally comes from a movie where he was turning the light down and telling her that she was crazy because she felt like the lights were getting dimmer. Right? So it's literally questioning how someone's causing you to question your own reality. So with a narcissist, it can sound like that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Sensitive, or I never said that, you're remembering it wrong.
Mm. Revisionist history.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That we double down on.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is if you try to hold these folks accountable midstream of what they're saying, they will get mad.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually there's an anger. They might even be playful with it at first. But if you stay on this, like, no, I'm telling you this happened. You said blah, blah, blah. They will get angry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. And I want to be clear. Okay. So if someone genuinely doesn't remember something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if they're saying, I genuinely don't remember it, they're not going to respond in a way.
This happens to you and I all the time.
Super
No, I
aggressive.
didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. But not like that.
I know. Well, part of it is like I have mom brain and I'm like, I don't remember half the shit I say right now.
No, that's true. Your
You
memory
know?
is not what it used to be. Usually you're our best bet.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
usually our best
Most
bet,
of the
as we've
time.
established.
But post baby,
No,
I
we
think
don't
I
know.
still am sometimes okay, but sometimes I like forget things. But it's how you respond to it, right? So like
Exactly.
someone says, I don't remember that, right? Don't
Mhm.
be like, you're a narcissist.
Please don't do that. No.
But if this is again, like Janine said, if this is a repetitive pattern,
Mm,
they are throwing in, that never happened.
mhm.
You're too sensitive or whatever, right? Like when it's a response in a defensive way,
Mm,
that's how to tell. Okay.
yes.
I could see someone running with this one and being like, oh my gosh, like you totally did that. And they're like, I genuinely do not
Well, and
remember.
again, pattern. Everyone's memories suck, actually.
Yeah.
Research as
We could
science.
all watch the same car accident and have different stories.
100%. So if you start from that in your relationships and go, you know what, we have different perspectives, that's actually going to give you flexibility and empathy for your partner
Yeah.
and make you a kinder human being. If you are consistently told that your version of things is inaccurate and theirs is accurate,
Correct.
that's when we're getting into gaslight
Correct.
terrain.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the cycle, idealize, devalue, and discard.
Mm-hmm.
This is the pattern that keeps so many people stuck.
Yes.
So it's like this. They put you on a pedestal. You're
Mm-hmm.
perfect. You are everything. Then slowly or sometimes suddenly, they start to tear you down. Nothing you do is right. You're too much. You're not enough. You do too much or you don't do enough. And then comes the threat or the reality of them leaving. And then when you're really at your lowest, they come back around and the cycle starts all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5, the
Mm.
constant need for admiration. A narcissist is to be the smartest, most successful, most admired person in the room, always. So when they walk in the room,
Mm-hmm.
if all eyes aren't on them, if they're not getting all of the attention, if they're not getting all of the praise, they're big mad.
Yes.
They may constantly talk about their achievements, fish for compliments, or get very visibly irritated when someone else gets attention that they feel like should be theirs.
They get impatient.
Well, yeah,
Impatient.
and just irritated.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get mad. It's
Yeah.
wild. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen this show up. It's wild.
Oh, absolutely.
Entitlement. So number 6 is entitlement. Rules in their mind simply do not apply to them.
Oh, yes.
We see this all the time. It's what MRT is for.
Well, I just saw a no button. I think I told you this. I was like, it's a Target. There's a
Mhm.
button and you push it, it just says no. And I was like, we need to get this for group because we just say no over and over and over again. But man, that won't keep them from asking, especially if they have a little bit of the narcissism. They're
I
like, but
know.
wait, but my job. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, I cannot. I can
Uh-uh. Nope.
this, and it's like, but this just cuts into my whole life. I understand that.
I know we do.
It
Yeah.
should cut into your whole life.
I know.
They expect special treatment from you, from others, from life in general.
Their stuff is more stressful, more hard. They need more space, more empathy, more understanding. It's exhausting.
Always. And when they don't get it, they can become cold, angry, or punishing.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Sign number 7, boundary violations. When you say no to someone with NPD, that no is rarely respected. Instead, it becomes a negotiation or a battle. They might guilt you, wear you down, or make you feel selfish for even having a boundary in the first place, until eventually you just stop setting them. Ugh, sounds
Mm-hmm.
horrible. Sign number 8, last sign,
Okay.
triangulation.
Oh, all of these are sending me. It's our week
I
at work.
know it's like kind of triggering.
Not with all of our clients. I want to be very careful with that. It's not that all of our domestic violence clients are narcissistic. It's that many of them are protecting themselves and are struggling interpersonally, and so we're just more likely to run into it.
Well, and like traits of it, right? Again, not everyone,
Behaviors, some of the behaviors.
yeah,
Yes.
doesn't mean that
Mm,
everyone's a narcissist, but
no.
again, you know, these types of personality disorders stem from something else, right? And
Yes.
so it's a protection and it's a defense, right? And then
Hmm.
it goes past it just being a defense or a protection and it becomes something they embody, which
Yes.
that's what it makes it really difficult.
Well, and it's the redemptive part of this. This is the only reason that we keep doing the work. Because I told Gary the other day, I'm like, I feel like a speed bump on personality disorder alley sometimes. Like I really do just feel like I'm just getting hit, and it's so worth it when you see some of the beautiful aspects of these people because they're people. But to be in the line of fire for this is not fun.
Mhm.
And triangulation is one of the ones, especially, Nat and I work really closely together. So this shows up even in treatment where there will be a little bit of they don't try us very often because we've established that we're tight and we go way back, but they'll show up in one group and complain about a facilitator in another group. And
Oh,
then all the time,
all the time.
there's like this little game that they play, or like my
Or
PO
with
just doesn't get it,
probation.
but you're the best therapist I've ever had, just that kind of stuff, you know?
Yes. So this is when they bring a third party into the dynamic to keep you off balance. It might be an ex they stay
Um,
awfully close to, a coworker they mention a little too often, or comparisons. My ex never had a problem with this.
oh, I love the invisible X in
Oh,
these
we hear
situations.
that
That's
all the time.
always a thing.
We
Yes.
hear that all the time. My ex, I never had this problem with my ex. Well, that's because they complied with your nonsense,
Or
bro.
you just made that shit up. That's the other thing. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
all my other girlfriends are blah, blah, blah. I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah. No, but sometimes I believe them that their ex didn't put up with it. And then I'm like, and that's also why you're not in a relationship with them anymore.
100%.
It's designed to make you feel insecure and in constant competition for their attention. Oh, that sounds so exhausting.
Like a treadmill of approval. It's like you're just, and you
Mhm.
know what's weird about it? You find yourself doing it and you don't remember starting. And then
Mhm.
you look up and you're like, why am I exhausted? I'm trying to please this person who's never happy with me.
Right.
I can't do enough.
Right.
Ugh.
So why is it so hard to leave?
Mm.
Right? So here's the thing. Some of you guys might be thinking, okay, this sounds like my relationship, but I love them. And sometimes things are really, really good.
Mm.
Yeah, I hear that. And I believe that
Mm.
because here's what people don't always talk about. Narcissists can be incredibly fun, charming, and magnetic. They are. They walk in the room and people are just drawn to them, right?
Yes.
The good days, they can feel incredible. They're the best days
Mm.
ever. And that's exactly what makes this so painful and confusing,
Mm.
right? What often develops in these relationships is something called a trauma bond. It's a deep emotional attachment. We've talked about trauma bonds before,
Mm-hmm.
but just to review, it's a deep emotional attachment that forms through cycles of reward and punishment.
Mm.
The highs are super, super high, that
Yeah.
your brain actually becomes chemically dependent on chasing that feeling, even when the lows are devastating. So I talk about this with clients all the time where they're like, but when it's good, it's good. And I'm like, yeah, you're literally addicted to this human. Like
Mm.
you're addicted to the highs and you're addicted to the
Mm.
lows. It's an addiction,
Yeah, the
right?
dopamine of the grand gesture,
Yes.
and then the bottom falls out, but then
Yeah.
we get scooped up again.
And it's like substances,
Yes,
right?
it's the same. Gambling, it's like gambling.
It's like
Like all
gambling.
the things. Yeah.
Mhm. There's also the sunk cost trap.
Oh, yeah. Speak on it. This is a good one.
I've invested so much time, so much love, so much of myself into this. If I walk away now, what was it all for?
Mm.
That's that sunk cost trap, right?
Mm-hmm.
The time you've already spent is not a reason to stay, my friends, in something that is hurting you. And I'm big on peace, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't owe you don't owe anyone your peace. No
Mm-mm.
one. Nobody. It doesn't matter how long you've been in a relationship with this person.
No, it's the truth.
You do not owe anyone your peace.
Mm-mm.
Okay? And leaving a relationship like this, especially a long one, is super, super hard.
Mm.
It's genuinely and very deeply hard. And if you're not ready, that's okay. But knowing what you're dealing with is the first step.
Mm.
Again, don't sit here and tell your partner, I think you're a narcissist. But if you're feeling like you're on a roller coaster with someone, try getting off. And I don't mean leaving right away, but just
Mm.
try not riding the ride for a minute and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
And if the reaction is really negative, that's going to tell you something.
Well, and I have a really good way to suss this out. Okay.
Mhm.
So I grew up observing a couple of family members, not in my immediate family, but older male, older female family members, um, who are clinical narcissists. I did not understand this until well after I was a therapist.
Mhm.
But once I understood it, I was like, oh, holy crap. And not only that, like, there's generational patterns, which we would expect all the things, right? And yes, trauma and some pieces to all of it, right? So here's my number one tell that you're in a relationship with a narcissist. It's not actually the roller coaster, although that's a piece.
Mhm.
It's your level of anticipation
Mm.
of their needs, their disappointments, their
Mhm.
praise. When you are running out ahead of someone,
Mhm.
sometimes literally,
Yeah.
to make sure that things look the way that they need to be. Not necessarily, although sometimes you may be physically afraid of them.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's literally just the pain and the discomfort of disappointing them, which happens frequently because there's a comment about how you do things, how you cooked that, how you cleaned this. There's a commentary that runs. And the weird thing is they can train you to crave it. So
Mhm.
I've even seen dynamics where this poor person who's on the treadmill is actually now seeking out the other person's real opinion.
Right.
Weird. Almost like the
Right.
intimacy is based on the pleasing of
Yeah.
this person who will suck all the air out of a room if you
Yep.
let them.
Yep.
And so I think part of why it's hard to leave is when that becomes a part of your daily functioning is doing recon and anticipating their needs. It's very hard to have a purpose outside of that after a while.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, particularly if you build a family together. It's like, who am I if I'm not taking care of life for this person? And they'll give you just enough of nobody takes care of this like you do. And it's
Mm.
like, oh, I live for that. Like I'm their human, you know? And it's very sick and twisty. But pulling that apart is just painful.
It's easy to become dependent on that, right? Because
100%.
again, when you're on the up, right? Like the high
Mm,
is the high and it's like, oh, this is what I live for. And then when the low, it's like, oh my
mm.
gosh, right? But then you're just
Yeah.
waiting for that next fix. So yeah, I hear you. So what do we do if you think you're dating a narcissist? Okay.
Mm,
So what do you actually do with all of this? What do you actually like? What's going to actually be helpful for you? Here are some real practical steps, okay? Trust your gut. Your discomfort, your confusion, your exhaustion, that's all data, my friends. Don't talk yourself out of what you're feeling, okay? Number 2, talk to a therapist.
oh yeah, totally.
Okay? Ideally, someone who is familiar with narcissistic abuse and trauma bonding. Having a professional help you process what you've been through and what you're currently in is invaluable. You don't have to figure this out alone, okay? And here's the thing. Support, like family support, friend support, that's all super, super important too, okay? Which I'm going to get into, okay?
Mm.
Therapists can really help navigate this though, because they're not embedded in your life,
Mm-mm.
right? They're this outside perspective that can see it from a different point of view than anyone else in your life can. Okay.
Also, if your
Number,
therapist calls them a narcissist in the first session, fire the therapist.
yeah, no, run. Like,
You
no.
really need a therapist who's cautious about it, but absolutely, you can process with the therapist easier than anybody else.
Yep. Yep. Number 3, reconnect with your people. Okay.
Mhm.
Reach back out to the friendships and families you may have drifted from. Isolation is one of the narcissist's most powerful tools. Don't let it keep working. Okay. Reconnect with your people. This is huge.
Mm,
Number 4, journaling. Start
mhm.
writing down what's happening. Write down the incidences, the patterns, the things that are said to you. Okay.
Mhm.
This kind of lines up with the gaslighting. This will help you keep a little bit of a record of like, okay, I'm not crazy, right?
Absolutely.
When you're in the middle of it, gaslighting
Mhm.
can make you feel like you're imagining things.
Mm.
A journal is proof that you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the book, I have a chapter on trail marking. That's this. It's like you've got to mark where you've been and where you're going because when you come back to that spot, you want to see it.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Number 5, create a plan. If you are ready to leave, please make sure you do it safely. This is a really big deal, my friends. And I'm not saying every human who struggles with narcissism is abusive, but they can be. Okay. And I'm not saying every human who has struggled with being abusive is a narcissist.
No.
It's real confusing, guys. But please make sure you leave safely. Talk to someone you trust, have a support system in place. If there are any concerns about your physical safety, you can reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. And above all, remember this, my friends, you are not responsible for fixing them.
No.
This is huge. We interviewed a wonderful human. Her name is Grace. She talked about this, right? She talked about this hope that he would one day be better.
Mm.
She didn't want to give up because what if someone else got the better version of him? You cannot fix them.
Mm-mm.
Okay. You are not
No.
responsible for that. You did not cause this. And you deserve a relationship where you feel safe, seen, and loved consistently, not just when it's convenient.
Mm.
Okay. So, any thoughts before I wrap us up?
One would be if you're supporting someone who you think is in a relationship with a narcissist. So if you're their parent or friend, sibling, whatever, I think it's really important that you consider the cost of saying something. And that doesn't mean don't say something. It just means there's a cost often when you do say something. And so I would be really careful and intentional about what you say, when, and how, because you can push this person away. Because if you say something too soon and too aggressively, and they shop that with this narcissistic person, that is fuel forever to drive a wedge in your relationship with them. It doesn't mean don't say anything. It just means if you choose to, you got to know kind of what you're risking. And so it's still worth it at certain points. But I try to tell people sometimes, especially in the therapy office, if they're like, my friend's dating a narcissist, blah, 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 blah. I met him last week. I'm like, just give it a minute, And I know that protective instinct, especially in female friendships, is so good. And believe me, I want to chuck them in the first 5 seconds. If somebody's not good to my friend, like, bye. But I do think you got to be a little bit careful how we get involved in helping people with their relationships.
Yeah.
And Grace talked about that too in that episode, about how some people were really trying to help and just loved her so much, but couldn't sit with her in the things that were good. They could only talk about all the things that were bad. And if she wasn't in that place, she couldn't do that until she was ready.
Yeah. Yeah. And she said that was one of the most isolating things for her, was because she didn't want to just talk. She didn't want to talk about the bad stuff. Yeah. No, you're so right. So if you're walking away from today's episode with just one thing, let it be this: recognizing the pattern is the first step to reclaiming your peace. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not asking for too much. You are someone who deserves real, healthy, reciprocal love. And don't let anyone convince you that you don't.
100%.
Yeah.
I've coined the phrase, pardon my pattern recognition, which I think is hilarious. We got to put it on a mug because this is what we do like every day.
I love it. Yes.
But it really is kind of, I think what you're saying, Nat, so, so powerful that if we see patterns of lots of things, but particularly this, you're not going to go about it the same way if you're trail marking and paying attention and you're seeing it over and over again. So let this be one of those things that you write down.
Yeah.
Hey, I was listening to this podcast. How many times would people come into our office? They're like, I listened to this podcast and it said blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Write it down. Like, wait a minute. There's some things happening here. I'm going to observe and report back to my therapist.
Yes.
Someone, right?
Well, and what I was just going to say, if this episode resonates with you, share it.
Yes.
Send it to a friend, send it to a sibling, send it to a coworker, someone in your life who you think might need to hear this.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't already, make sure you are following the show, following us, following our Instagram, our soon-to-be Facebook, once we figure that out.
I think I figured out how to do it. I just need to do it. I researched it the other day. I was on a tangent and I was like, I'm going to figure it out. But yeah, follow us on all the things, please.
Yes. And if you have something that you want us to cover, like DM us, we will cover it, especially this little series that we're doing, which is Are You Dating Blank? Are You Dating a Blank? So I hope this episode is helpful for everybody. We love you guys. And as always,
bye, forensic friends. I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more crime, psychology, and heart.